Hello and welcome back to the Pit Wall Podcast, where today we are talking about the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, and things are back to normal again. I'm starting the podcast, and
this is not normal for me.
It was an incredible race that saw Charles Leclerc, a Ferrari driver, win at Monza. Like I said, they always find a way to win one way or another. So, before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, follow at the Pitwall Pod. And before I do qualifying, just want to say it was a pretty solid race. Lots of things to talk about.
It was a good race. I was a depresso boy.
Yep. Well,
this race,
we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But first, let's do quality in 60 and talk about how all that went. So starting out, the Saubers in the back again, 20 and 19th. We had new boy Colapinto only at 18th, right behind Lance Stroll at 17th and Yuki at 16th. I will say Colapinto went off a little bit, so maybe could have made it through. Mm-hmm. Yuki, big name, in 16th. Ocon, 15th, and Gasly in 14th, both Alpines next to each other. K-Mag at 13, Daniel Ricciardo at 12, and Fernando Alonso at 11, missing out of the top 10. A Haas in the top 10 of Nico Hülkenberg. Yep. Alex Albon, a Williams at 9, and then Formula A is all ahead of them, kind of in the way that it's kind of laid out right now, with Checo and Max 8 and 7 on legitimate pace, ladies and gentlemen. P6, Lewis Hamilton, disappointing from him. Carlos Sainz 5th, Charles Leclerc 4th, George Russell 3rd, Oscar Piastri 2nd, and Lando Norris starting on pole. And we all know what that means. When Lando Norris starts on pole,
he doesn't
by the end of the first lap, his race is entirely over.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, did he just win the Dutch Grand Prix last week from pole, even though he lost it? Yes. But that does not matter, and I say we just go right into some talk about how this race went. I want to talk about, I have a personal thing that I would really like to talk about.
Okay.
I would like to, Dawson, I have like a replay for you. This is the sound of Red Bull on the radio during this race. Both of them just constantly complaining about crap the entire race. All right. It started out with Max saying that he didn't get enough space from Lewis. I've got a penalty for that before. Yeah, like one time out of 50 times you shove somebody off the track. And second of all, then George Russell in his wing is dangling, immediately falls off into some gravel, nice and safe. His wing is fine. And then Checo's going, oh, his car is unsafe. Checo, you're unsafe. All right. Like, seriously. And they're both complaining constantly. Yeah. So, crybaby Red Bull. I honestly, Max was the least of the two of them.
Yeah.
Because Checo then George Russell let Checo by.
Yep.
And then he goes, he's racing me. He's racing me. We went motor racing, Toto. Like, what else do you need to hear, Checo? So
that I didn't get.
I've been waiting to say this to you for since the race happened.
I know that you're happy,
dude. Like, all right. So how do you feel, Red Bull fan? Tell me about the race, other than the fact that they were menaces on the radio.
Perez stayed where he was, P8. So I mean, not shocking, but also he's averaging better now that he's not got the best car.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's like Pacheco has to not have the fastest car to perform well.
It's like he can't use the last 10% of the car.
Exactly. It's
so the car falls back. It's like, oh, wow. Checo's,
Yeah. It's like when you look at it, you're like, oh, Checo's now doing good for what he has. But
the other way to look at it is that the car has gotten so bad that Max can no longer outdrive the car.
Well, Checo said over the weekend that Max is now dealing with Checo's been dealing with for the past 10 races.
Which is what?
The car.
I know, but
he didn't
what is it? Give me specifics.
He didn't give anything, but maybe I don't think that they would have two different upgrades on cars and stuff throughout the weekends that were that drastic.
I mean, they did have that one engine cover thing when Max ran it and Checo didn't at Hungary, but it was pretty negligible. I mean, we ended up figuring out it probably doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, if anything, maybe Checo had the advantage. So,
yeah, I mean, Max finished P6. I put for this slow stop, slow car, slow race, bad Red Bull.
Yeah.
I mean, everything just went wrong for them this weekend. I mean, P6 isn't, awful, but it's not where we need to be right now, especially with McLaren. I mean, even though they did kind of screw it up a little bit this weekend.
Yes, they definitely screwed it up this weekend.
So,
but they're only 8 points back, bro.
Yeah.
It went from 30 to 8 like that.
Yes.
We're already here.
Yeah. And the driver standings, Max is ahead by 62 points right now. Should have been 52, but
yeah.
Thank God. Red Bull was just bad this weekend compared to what has been, and I feel like it's downhill.
Yeah,
from here.
it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I mean, Horner made some comments where there might be some changes before the end of the season,
like driver changes.
He didn't say specifically, but he says something needs to change, and I'm like, yeah, we all know
it's Checo.
It's Checo.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they gotta wait till the Mexican Grand Prix.
Yeah,
it's too late, and plus
also,
Baku,
and also like, I mean, if Max keeps finishing like only 2 places ahead of him, then I don't know if they do have a reason to replace him this season.
Yeah,
because then it's just kind of like, well, if he's getting this, like, what can we ask more for? I mean, that P7 maybe from behind Max, but.
So, do you think Red Bull losing constructors is a done deal? It seems like it.
I mean, it's not a done deal till it's a done deal.
Yeah. But McLaren could DNF.
And I still have hope for them. Because it's McLaren. They have messed up so far, like some things. They can mess up again and maybe continuously do it like Ferrari kind of does sometimes.
Their car's so far ahead. It's like, it's literally like it's dumb proof.
Like, yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I know. Like, dude, with Ferrari this weekend too, I don't know. It's tough because like maybe they have an upgrade coming that like fixes everything, but then maybe they don't, and like McLaren just
points
steamrolls.
Because
ahead.
Here's the thing. All right, the theory is still the same because if they fix the car, let's say Red Bull comes, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It's just a fluke. They're going to come back and be the strongest car at Baku and for the rest of the season. Max wins out.
Yep.
All right, so Lando loses drivers, whatever.
Yeah.
But Checo still has to perform better than both McLarens, and they're only 8 points behind. So they're never going to grow the gap ever again unless Checo starts beating them consistently.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah, so I think that's why I'm like, I think McLaren's won the Constructors' Championship. Yeah. And the only other curveball could be Ferrari's only 29 points behind McLaren.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say as well.
So that's actually the bigger curveball in my opinion. I think it's not if Red Bull loses unless Ferrari comes out and clean sweeps the rest of the season and Red Bull is the fourth fastest car, boom, you win.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean Ferrari could catch up.
I mean, they're not that hard. They're literally 29 points behind Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like, 29 points behind.
Wait, no,
39 points behind.
You had it right.
That's not that much.
Yeah.
It's one DNF and a 1-2. Like, that's nothing. That's one weekend. And when it's within one weekend possibility, that's where things get murky.
Yeah.
So Ferrari winning this race was huge.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Huge.
If that happens again and Sainz finished, like you said, 1-2, then it's going to be interesting.
Well, even Red Bull could finish third. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they could.
Seriously, because if 1, 2, 3, 4 in some order is McLaren, Ferrari, I mean, I don't know the exact math off the top of my head, but that screams to me Red Bull loses.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost sure.
Yeah.
Because there's 7 races left. So, yeah, they only have to make up like 6 points a race.
I doubt Red Bull is at least going to have another 1-2 this season.
Yeah,
like, I don't think that's going to happen. I could see Max pulling out a win.
I could see him winning Mexico or something.
Yeah. But I don't see a double podium probably, and like it unless, like I said, McLaren or Ferrari just really screws it up.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about McLaren Ferrari in a minute. Let's get through some other drivers real fast. So let's talk about Haas.
Yeah, that's fine. Magnussen scored a point. And is also banned from the next race.
He also scored 2 other points.
Yeah. He scored a point in the race and 2 points on his penalty card.
It happened. He did enough. He probably deserved it like a long time ago.
Now think about it. This means that Magnussen, his points get reset after Baku.
Yes, yeah.
He can now be a complete menace again on the track for the rest of the season and be all right.
So, hot take. Hot take.
Oh, gosh.
I think they're going to use Ollie Behrman almost definitely, right?
Yeah.
I think they should just use him the rest of the season.
Really?
Why not?
I don't see why.
Free
I don't
training,
see why not.
Free training the rest of the season.
Yep.
K-Mag, I mean, let's be honest. How many points is he really going to get the rest of the year? Like, really?
Maybe 1.
Maybe 1. He has
maybe 1,
6
maybe
right now. Ollie Behrman also has 6, and he raced 1 time. He was in a Ferrari.
Yeah. But still.
Baku's a tough track to come in, but he have no choice. Yeah. I don't know, man. Just kind of seems like might as well just do it now.
Yeah.
So I don't.
No,
think,
I agree actually.
I don't think that's going to happen. And I like
Yeah.
K-Mag. I mean, I also hate him. So it like depends on the
Yeah.
depends on the weekend. But yeah, so Hulkenberg had a bit of a trepidatious race. Well, both Haas's did.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg got squeezed off the track at the beginning of the race and then hit Yuki and ended up P17.
Yeah.
Yuki, meanwhile, who also got the damage, had to retire.
Yep.
And Yuki has like a terrible track record on this track. It's ridiculous. You should look it up. It's like constant DNFs. But yeah, too much damage. So Yuki was the only retirement of the race. Still no safety car. And Crofty said something really funny during the race. He said Bird Mylander is working part-time right now, and I thought that was hilarious.
Who is that?
He's the safety car driver. Now, he did crash the safety car this weekend, which I also wanted to bring up because the Monza curse lives, baby. Because last year, the safety car finished the race in first.
Yeah.
It lives. The curse.
It's still alive.
When does he crash? I've watched F1 for a long time now. I've never seen him crash.
Of a safety car
I know. So it's got to be the curse.
It could be. Dude.
And Max had already crashed before winning, so like it kind last year, so it kind of works out where it's like, all right, his curse didn't, even though he won twice.
Yeah,
it's okay. So it all works out.
That's crazy to think about.
So yeah, so that means Charles Leclerc at Ferrari is going to crash next year at Monza.
Oh my gosh.
So good luck. He did crash in 2020. He didn't finish the race in 2020. So, all right. Where do you want to go next?
We could just talk about RB.
Okay.
I mean,
I mentioned Yuki.
With Yuki, yeah. Ricardo, I mean, just another average race. P13, like P12, like you got last time. I mean, it's just he's kind of staying around this middle ground, which is like good for RB. Like as long as he can like squeeze in some points here and there, I think that's what they're kind of hoping for at this point. I mean, as long as they're above the bottom five, I think, or at the top of the bottom five, I think they're where they want to be.
I think he's showing consistency.
Yeah. I kind of crapped on him a little bit last week, and I'm like,
no, he's doing
this
well.
is just what they need, I think. This is what they're expecting and what we should probably expect.
See, like, I think you'll average more points. Like, if you put him in a Red Bull, it's like, all right, he only gets P5 every time, but he always gets P5.
Yeah.
Whereas Checo gets, like, P4 and then crashes, and then gets P5 and then crashes. Like, you know, it's like... It's a
little
bit of a toss-up.
Yeah. So I take my statement back from previous podcast, and
he's just such a nice guy. You just can't hate him. You can't hate him. He's Danny Rick. If he was in Red Bull, if I saw him win, I would actually enjoy watching Daniel Ricciardo win a race. That's a big thing. So, moving on, let's talk about Colapinto, our new boy.
Yeah. So P12 in a Williams on your debut.
Nice.
With some very nice overtakes,
yes,
let me say.
Fantastic.
Like I couldn't have expected better.
Yeah.
Like this was a perfect debut for him.
And I'm just asking
and a Williams.
I'm just asking, when's the last time they cut to Logan Sargent overtaking somebody? That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
They already got
last time they cut to him, he was in a wall.
Yes,
so I mean,
yeah. Or hitting the wall,
Yeah.
So, man, Kendra's gonna be mad at me for saying that. And then, actually, did you hear what Alonso said? Alonso finished P11, and he had said he had known that Colapinto was behind him, he would have let him pass. So
really?
Because he knew they wouldn't get points. So he was like, well, P12 and 11 doesn't make a difference to me. But to him, it means a big deal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's actually sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, he got P11. Also, I mentioned Albon as well. Albon did very well.
Yep.
I thought, a P9 is a fantastic result for him.
Yeah.
He was only 14 seconds ahead of Colapinto. He was really mad on the radio, though, yelling about inconsistency and the team making inconsistent and unprepared decisions and decisive. So, that's multiple times it's happened. So Albon's starting to sound a little fed up, and that worries me for Williams, like a little bit. I'm not saying like immediate
he's
problems.
confirmed till 25, all right?
Yeah, dude, who knows anymore? I mean,
that's fair.
all these contracts, it's just constant. Oscar Piastri messed everything up. It's just been lawless. They could drive this long, or they could be fired tomorrow. It's either way.
This is a crazy season, man.
Well, tell me about Stroll, because I mentioned Alonso.
The karting rookie finished P19.
Yeah.
If you watched it or listened to Piastri afterwards, he compared Stroll to someone in their rookie season of karting, which means like a 6-year-old. P19. exactly what I expected from Stroll this weekend.
You know what my favorite part of the race was? When they put him on soft tires and they thought, he could steal fastest lap.
I was about to say, this man finished not close to the fastest lap. Even though they pitted directly for softs to put him on the fastest lap.
Why do they care about stealing it from McLaren?
I don't know.
Or whoever had it at the time.
They have 74 points. The closest person to them is 292. What do you think you're going to do with that 1 point?
And they can't even get it.
Yeah.
He was in the bottom 10. They were literally just stealing it from somebody. It was so stupid.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
I know. They just wanted to, look at us. We had the fastest lap. Well, you didn't.
Yeah, that was
someone on
honestly
old hards.
looked so much worse.
Yeah. Like, just do it to Alonso then. I mean, like, give someone an action. I mean, I'm sure there wasn't free air.
Alonso probably could have had a chance. Well, if he had the space.
Oh my gosh, dude's so dumb. I can't even. They're not even worth it. He's not even worth our time. Let's move on.
Joe.
I was about to say
at stake.
Beat
like
Stroll.
We talked about. Yeah, he did beat Stroll by one position. Finished P18. Like another. Stake is just
terrible.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it. Like, they should never expect to beat in points unless there's a tragedy or it's raining.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
I think in the rain, it would also be bad.
Yeah.
They're 6 points behind Williams, and he finished, Valtteri Bottas finished P16. Starting to be convinced this is going to be his last season in F1.
Valtteri?
Yeah.
Or Joe? Or both, I guess.
Both. Yeah. I think they're going to take Teo Porcher. Speaking of which, Kimi Antonelli confirmed.
Yep.
He crashed in P1.
Confirmed in P2.
It was the next day. Yeah. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but not too hopeful.
Yeah, as a Mercedes fan, how do you feel? How did you feel about that decision?
Overall, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still mad at them for losing Lewis. That's always going to be my number one problem. But who else should they have taken? Mm-hmm. They're not getting Max, which I don't really want.
Yeah.
I mean, might as well pull up. Apparently, he's been awesome in all of his testing sessions. So I mean, he crashed in the same place the safety car did. I'm just saying. I don't know, but we'll see. I think there's going to be some crashing. But dude, homie, did you look at his telemetry?
Mm-mm.
Dude. On everybody's first laps, he completely destroyed everybody.
Yeah, I did see
instantly.
That actually.
So he was pushing too hard.
Yeah,
which I'm like, all right, it's fine. Like, he'll learn.
I mean, like they always say in Formula One, I'd rather you push too hard than not push enough.
Yeah. So he has to nail it back down. So
I
have very good hopes for him. This is not a great start, but I think they made the right decision overall. Where it's going to get weird is if, as I keep saying, if Max wants to come next year, who loses their seat? I don't know.
Next year, as in like
2026. 2026.
Okay,
so like George and Antonelli have equivalent seasons. I'm just going to go ahead and predict it.
If Max or if Red Bull has a season next year that's like this back half of the season,
Max is going to go.
Max is gone in 26.
So I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think they fired George Russell because Antonelli is their future.
Oh, really?
Max is going to be like a couple years. Antonelli, I think they think ultimately is better than George Russell. I'm just saying, Antonelli's 21.
I mean, because that's
see what I'm
fair
saying?
because, they didn't bring George Russell straight in. They had to bring him from Williams.
Yep.
That's an
crazy.
interesting point. It's like I can see see the logic there.
I'm officially predicting it now, and it's very early. But if Max decides to go to Mercedes and Antonelli and Russell are having equal seasons, Russell's gone. And it's because I don't think Russell and Max are going to get together.
Seasons, I could see
I don't think Russell and Max are going to, or even if Russell's like a little ahead, it'll be like a big controversy.
Yeah.
But just imagine Max trains at Antonelli for like 2 years and then leaves. Yeah. They might win a world championship. Seems like a good situation. This is all dependent on him even being okay. He could be terrible. I mean, we don't know. So anyway, that was a tangent. We talked about Haas. I think we're ready to talk about Ferrari. I'll talk about Mercedes real fast.
Yeah.
Mercedes had a terrible weekend. Again, P5 for Lewis. I mean, it's better than it was. We beat Red Bull. So
yeah, he did.
We beat Red Bull. So we outscored Red Bull completely. Lewis beat Max. George beat Sergio. George in the first lap had some contact, had to go on the off-road. His race was over from that point on. I mean, pretty much. So he got P7. I don't know. Mercedes, I think they need this 2-week break to just kind of like figure some stuff out.
Yep.
I have a feeling they'll be stronger in Baku, even though it's not like their best track ever. So there's a couple rough tracks here. I think once we get to like Singapore and Coda, that's when I'll be like, all right, it's Mercedes again.
Yep.
Like, so every time there's a break, Mercedes just can't start right. Like
Yeah.
there's a summer break, doesn't go well. Winter break never goes well. Like, I don't know what happens, but like, who knows? So not great. So we talked about Red Bull. Let's
We can
talk about
McLaren.
Let's talk about McLaren. So I'll let you take the lead on like the Piastri.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Go ahead,
So,
tell them about the overtake, stuff like that.
So obviously lap 1, Landon Norris started from P1, got immediately overtaken by Piastri. And everybody was talking about if they need, he finished P2 in the race. Just talk about that.
Yeah.
And like everybody's talking about if they need team rules
Yeah.
implemented in McLaren. I think they do. I think it needs to be for Piastri.
Wow. I was not expecting that. You stunned silence. I mean, I think he's the better driver.
Yeah, exactly. I think, well, like,
But you think
Listen.
Piastri can win the world championship still?
I think that he has a better chance than Norris because of inconsistency.
Okay, so let's look at their
Okay,
standings.
I'm not saying it's
What about the math?
okay.
though?
Okay, yes, but I'm saying though Norris, like performance-wise, is not as consistent as Piastri.
I mean,
correct?
Piastri, yeah, but Piastri's a full 106 points behind Max.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not saying
unsurmountable.
I'm not saying. I don't think it's happening for Lando.
I don't think so either. But I will say he did make up enough points this weekend to keep on the trajectory.
Yeah,
he made up
but-
8 points this weekend.
I feel like Piastri is just going to outscore him every weekend.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oof. Well, I don't
Nearly
disagree.
every weekend, if not.
I don't disagree, but I do think they need to prioritize Lando.
Yeah, I understand. It's just like it's like this whole lap 1 thing. It's like the thing that I'm always
it's a
coming
meme.
back to.
Yeah.
He can't. Your pole position, and yes, he won from that last time, but like still, like you were getting overtaken every single time you were on pole.
Well, let me tell you
Lap
something.
1.
Let me tell you something. I've had it with Lando Norris. I'm completely done with him.
Yeah,
Completely, I've had it.
Yeah.
He's completely on my bad side now. He's such a freaking crybaby. I need to play that again. He's such a freaking crybaby. Every time it doesn't go his way. 2 years ago, this man had like 3 podiums total. You need to enjoy. I know you blew the lead. All right, fine. Maybe this race. But
Yeah.
when you drive the whole race and you can't catch Max and you're sad about a P2,
yeah,
you need to enjoy it, because what if McLaren, this is the best year they ever have in F1 ever again?
yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. Like, you don't know. Like, all the other F1 drivers that have ever won a world championship, think about Alonso. He always says, I wish I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Like, and Lewis too, he's having a realization that he might only win a race a year for the rest of his career and be done. Or
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm so over him. I think I'd rather see Max win at this point.
Oh my gosh,
I cannot stand
That's wild.
I cannot stand it because Lando is not showing me the caliber of driver.
Yeah.
Like, Max was pissing me off in 2021, but if you asked me if he was a world championship caliber driver, I would have said yes 100%. Period, end of story.
Yeah.
Lando is not. He's just not. He doesn't have the like aura of
I
it.
think going forward past this season, if it's Lando and Piastri will be the focus.
He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be. And it's a kind of a similar thing to I have this whole idea for this video that I haven't done, and it's called Has F1 Next Generation Failed? Because they were really pushing that like George Russell, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris were going to be the 3 main drivers really soon. And it hasn't happened. I mean, Leclerc's doing pretty well. Like,
I'd say Leclerc is.
Leclerc
one
is.
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
Leclerc has that aura to him, I feel like. But George
Lando Norris still has the chance to become it.
and
George
I don't
Russell
think George
does
does
not.
not. Yeah, I agree. So unless Mercedes turns it around, and,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, Lando's just making me so angry with how he's acting, his attitude. I just can't get behind it.
Yeah.
I can't, and I hate that Max. I don't want Max to have a 4th world championship. I don't want him to be over halfway to tying Lewis. Can't, especially if he does it at Mercedes.
Yeah.
What if he wins 26, 27, 28 at Mercedes? What if he wins 26, 27, 28, 29 at Mercedes, wins it at Mercedes? Like, Lewis is done. Like he'll have beaten all his records by that point. You know, I can't. That
You
hurts
can't
my
fathom
soul.
that.
But I cannot. This Lando Norris cannot. I cannot celebrate him winning anymore. And that was his first win. Like, I was happy for him 3 months ago or 5 months ago, however long it's been. So I thought I would surprise you with that. Like, legitimately, Max is acting more mature. Like, just I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. But seriously, I can't take it anymore. Like, I'm over him. He's a complete source loser I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And Piastri was also upset. But it's the first time I've ever seen Piastri upset ever. Yeah. So, like,
Piastri does not get Piastri is about business, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't say snippy things.
He rarely gets emotional.
He did say the thing about Stroll, but it's okay. Yeah. I think we all agree. So,
everybody agrees with that.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, Lando will probably get another pole. He'll probably lose it again. He'll probably win more races this season. Yeah. At least 2, I would think.
Dude, when Piastri overtook Sainz, it's like lap 45 or something like that, dude.
Piastri's getting better and Lando's getting worse.
Yeah.
Like, that's just simple. So this is going to be a problem. And also, I'm sorry, do you really got to call it papaya rules?
No, that was the dumbest.
Do we really need papaya rules? Will you please explain that to us? It's like, oh my gosh, like, this team is just a joke. Like, the whole thing is a joke. And also, I know it's funny because I'm crapping on one of your drivers and then not because you like Lando too.
Yeah, I do like Lando, but
I mean, do you agree that he's being kind of a crybaby?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm so over it. So anyway, I don't know, man. He could still win. The funny thing is, if Red Bull stays on this path, he could not win another race, and he could be a 2-race winner. There's a way where he can win 2 races
and still win
the World Drivers' Championship and have less wins than other people. Because what if, like, okay, let's say like Mercedes wakes up and Lewis and George Russell doesn't do that well, but Lewis wins a bunch. Well, Lando's world champion, but Lewis won like 5 races. Like, it's so stupid. Like, this whole season is just ridiculous. But I'm here for it. So my rants, I feel more at peace.
Yeah.
So how about you give me your winner and loser?
We didn't talk about Ferrari.
We didn't talk about Ferrari? Oh, yeah. Well, we kind of mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, Sainz finished P4, at least. I thought he actually had a really good race.
Fantastic race.
Yeah.
Once again, Charles Leclerc, in my opinion, is still performing the best on the grid right now. Consistent, P4 to P1. I mean, he criticized their strategy, but, I mean, it's probably PTSD.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Yeah,
Monza and Monaco in the same year. Absolutely ridiculous. And I just couldn't. I was stunned. I mean, it's kind of like there's been multiple race wins this year where I've been stunned. Monaco, Miami, all the M's. So Lewis winning Silverstone, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a great race, a great season, and it was a great race. So even though it made me mad. So go ahead.
Winner, loser. Let's see. Winner. That's a tough one. I guess Leclerc. Yeah. I mean that's the gimme one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Leclerc. I mean, he had out of everybody that drove. I mean, other than maybe Hamilton, you could say for winner. He had the best race. Like, everybody else had issues other than like Sainz.
I wouldn't say Lewis had like a spectacular race.
Yeah, but it's just better than normal.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead. But yeah. Anyway, loser probably going to be. I mean, McLaren is just like they didn't lose though. Red Bull probably, honestly. Red Bull did worse than McLaren. So
I was going to give it to the opposite of whatever you did. So I'm going to give loser to Red. Well, you said Red Bull. I'll say McLaren.
Yeah.
Just because it just looks so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, every weekend.
That's why I wanted to give it to him.
Zach Brown's already looking bad in IndyCar for all the crap he's been pulling. It's like, it's just lingering over everything. It's constantly.
He needs to figure this out.
Dude. He's not going to. We have 2 number 1 drivers. Did you see Will Buxton roll his eyes at that?
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious.
Did you see, oh my gosh, what's his name? Old F1 driver that's
Nico Rosberg?
Did you see him call him out on the post race?
Yeah. Love
hilarious.
That. Dude, Nico Rosberg, I'm supposed to hate him as like a Lewis fan.
Yeah.
But dude, I love Nico Rosberg.
Yes,
no complaints,
awesome.
No notes. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So my winner, I'm gonna give it to Fred Vasseur because I think he needed this. All of Ferrari's people were there. Like, they showed all the chairmans, everybody that's possible, and they're like hugging on him after the race. And I'm like, he's not going to get fired.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a couple more years left in him. It will worse because Ferrari's like, if it's not going well, they got to change something.
Yeah.
But they got Lewis. So anyway, so overall, I feel very good about the season, and I'm kicking your butt probably in the.
You are, dude. You are absolutely destroying me.
I think I like went into like a slumber.
Well, actually, this race I think we tied. Technically,
I think we did tie, but that doesn't help you.
But
I'm
other
10 points
than this
ahead.
race, yeah, like he's still.
I can't clinch till the last weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it depends
there's
on how.
tiebreaker. There's a tiebreaker,
There is
and
a tiebreaker.
I know I'm winning the tiebreaker. I'm telling you right now.
Really?
If Ryan doesn't know, remember he's
Yeah.
because what I wrote in my envelope is going to come true, and it is a freaking ballsy prediction.
Really?
Yes.
See, mine was.
Don't tell me anything.
No, I'm not telling you. I'm just saying, like, kind of how you said, like, mine was like kind of like. It's a wild prediction, but now it's like.
Mine was a complete Hail Mary, and it is completely correct.
Mine was a Hail Mary too, but.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just telling you now. I'm going to win the tie. So you have to outright beat me to win.
All right.
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm leaving it up to Ryan to decide but he doesn't know them either. But I'm like so excited to show you about it. I've been thinking about it for like weeks already.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, it hasn't for sure. Like it's not for sure yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like convinced it's gonna happen.
Okay.
So. Okay, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Tune in to our Baku predictions. They'll come out in a day or two. Like, subscribe, follow at the Pitwall Pod, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you later.
Bye.